It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on The Wine Ladies.
Hi, everybody. It's us, The Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome to The Wine Ladies TV, one sip at a time. Thanks for joining us.
And to all our friends and fans on Facebook and thewineladies.com and Twitter, thanks for following and sending in all your questions and comments. Now, you may have noticed that we're actually not at the station here today, but rather we're on location at the premier award-winning winery of Jackson-Triggs Winery in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. And we are here for a very exciting event, I might add.
Exciting is right, because every year Jackson-Triggs hosts the Twilight in the Vineyard series. And tonight's show is with the Canadian Tenors. Now, these gentlemen have been taking the world by storm, rave reviews, standing ovations. They've had amazing performances. They've been on Oprah, Dr. Phil, and just recently they performed at the G20 in front of the Obamas and Prime Minister Stephen Harper, amongst other world leaders.
Now, that's quite the resume, Suzanne.
It is.
But you forgot to mention how absolutely charming the gentlemen are as well. These guys really rock, let me tell you. Now, we're going to have a lot of fun today because we're going to get a chance to talk to them as a group, but also individually with each of the tenors, all the while enjoying a wonderful glass of wine. Life does not get any better than that, Suzanne.
We're also going to get to talk to Dr. Alan Jackson, who started it all, as well as some current personalities, including executive chef David Penny.
Now, the chef, David, but what about the winemaker? Very importante. Speaking of importante, Marco Piccoli is the winemaker, and he's from Italy, and he's definitely put his stamp on the Jackson-Triggs wine. So we're going to be speaking with Marco a little bit later as well.
We'll also be in the barrel cellar for the winemaker's dinner, where executive chef David Penny's culinary creations will be matched up with Marco Piccoli's fabulous wines. Perfect, perfect, perfection. Now, on with the show. All right, well, here we are in the vineyards at Jackson-Triggs, and we're standing here with the National Director of Viticulture. Frank Hellwig is here with us. Now, wow, these rows are unbelievable. They go on and on and on. Where are we exactly?
We're just at the back of Jackson-Triggs. This is a Chardonnay block, and yeah, we've got beautiful sunshine today.
Oh, it's a perfect day. So tell us, how many acres of different varieties does Jackson-Triggs have planted?
Around the winery here there's 13 acres,
Okay.
but we look after 540 acres across the peninsula. And yeah, all varieties essentially, from ice wine, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, all the reds, all the whites, predominantly Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Riesling.
Now, you're originally from Australia, we understand, right? And didn't you start off as a dairy consultant? And how did you end up in grapes and wine?
My wife moved up to Mudgee, which is northwest of Sydney, a wine growing region, and the dairy industry was in a bit of a slump. And I arrived in town with an agriculture degree, and there was a big drought in Australia at the time, nothing to do. And the wine industry was the only thing that was employing at the time. And now, 16 years later, it's sort of history. I sort of fell into it, if you like. I started on the weighbridge assessing fruit, and the next thing you know, I've been managing vineyards for probably 15 years.
Now, how do you like living in Canada and Niagara?
Yeah, we love it. We've been here for 6 years now. I think it's huge potential industry. I love the region. I think the wines speak for themselves. They're great food wines, so yeah, really enjoying it.
And a very different profile for the wines here in what would be considered a sort of a northern climate to the climate that you were used to in Australia.
Yeah, I think it's. I think Kim Crawford once said it to me that it's not necessarily cool climate, it's short season. And I think that best describes it. And in Niagara, we have a very short period of time from bud burst to flowering, and then pretty much the time from flowering and fruit set right and through until picking is pretty much the same as what it is in most regions.
Okay.
So that's where we sort of make up our time. But as soon as the days are like this, the nights are 20 odd degrees, the vines are growing day and night.
So speaking of weather, what is the 2010 vintage looking like? I'm pretty sure it's pretty fantastic. fantastic.
I mean, all indications are right now it's looking amazing. I mean, we look at growing degree days as one of our biggest indicators, so that's time above 10 degrees, and we are in front of where we were in 2007.
Oh, and that was an exceptional year.
Fantastic for Bordeaux Reds. So yeah, all indications are, it should be amazing. We've got no disease issues. Everything's looking, yeah. I don't want to say too much too early.
What is this? You said this is Chardonnay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Chardonnay. It's using the estate wines, the Grand Reserve, and also the sparkling we pick from this block as well.
And what should a grape be looking like at this stage of the game? Does this look like a healthy bunch of grapes?
Absolutely. These are at what we call bunch closure. Mm-hmm. So we've de-leafed them at the moment because we want as much airflow as we can.
Right.
Again, to prevent disease, allow our protection to get in there. They're looking fantastic at the moment. I'm really happy.
Is there any one grape that you think really has hit its mark or hit its stride?
I would have to say Pinot Noir. I've worked very closely with Tom.
Break.
Absolutely, it's an absolute bugger to grow, but I think it's probably the most rewarding. Mm-hmm. I just really love the layer. When you get it right, you get the layers of complexity and flavour. You enjoy a glass top to bottom, and then another one.
And another one, and another one perhaps.
I think that's my favourite part about it. It's because it is so difficult, I think it is so rewarding.
Well, it has to struggle as well. I think, the grapes have to really struggle to make it, just like I think in people. Like you have to struggle to build character. And the same thing with the Pinot Noir.
Well, and they're so expressive, between clones, between sites, they might only be short distance apart, but they're completely different. It's a real character wine, I think.
Now, do you have to work closely with Marco, the winemaker here, or do you do your own thing and he shows up later, or how does that all work?
No, it's Marco and I. It's like a marriage. It has to work really well.
The Aussie and the Italian together again.
Kind of strange, but no, it's
strange bedfellows. No.
No, it's. Yeah, I mean, during vintage, when we're picking, he and I are out in the vineyards daily.
Yes.
We pick, although we get our numbers on, bricks and titratable acidity and those things, we always pick on flavour. He and I have worked closely probably over the last 3-4 years to really hone in on what are individual special parcels. So really, we've got access to all this fruit, and we cherry pick what's the best for the really high end.
Well, they say
wines.
wine really starts in the vineyard with the grapes, right?
Yeah, I think Marco would say that as well. I mean, I try to make sure he's got the best material to work with, and then after that, he's on his own.
There you go.
Well, Jackson-Triggs is known for like the many awards that you guys have won, the gold medals. You're so well accomplished. You're one of the premier wineries in the entire of Canada, I would say. So congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. I think it's down to a great team. We've got a fantastic team of people, and it's Marco and I stand up front, but we've got brilliant people behind us who are very, very dedicated, and we're very, very thankful and lucky.
Okay, well, the Aussies are known for Shiraz, obviously, and I think Jackson-Triggs also has some fantastic Shiraz as well. Is that right, Frank?
Absolutely. In 2004, when I arrived, I remember doing the first classification tasting. And looking at the Shiraz on the list, and I thought, this can't be right. I think they've got this wrong. I think they're crazy.
It was a different grape? Is that what it was?
I thought, how can they possibly do it any better than what we did at home? And I'd have to say I was pleasantly surprised. I really. I'm fascinated by the grape. It's tough to grow, and it has to be on the right site. Site is critical here in Niagara. But when you get it right, you have this amazing white pepper that really sticks in your mind. It's such a distinctive grape. It's very complex. It's more sort of Rhone-like, but it's still very Niagara. I think it's got huge potential. It's just a shame we can't do it on a big scale, but I think that adds to its unique qualities, I guess.
You know what, I have to say, we tasted I think it was called Syrah, maybe it was Shiraz, at the East Meets West
dinner
that we had last year, and I remember commenting on the white pepper was unbelievable. It was such an elegant, delicious Syrah or Shiraz. Is it Shiraz or Syrah?
Well, they call it Syrah in Niagara, and then we've got a Shiraz out in the Okanagan.
That's right. It was just amazing, though, I have to say.
Yeah, no, beautiful wine.
Yeah. Thank you.